Forget Nevada. The real Area 51 is in California, and it's more secretive, more advanced, and more dangerous than anyone imagined. Hidden in plain sight, Lockheed's Skunk Works is testing tech decades ahead of what's public. What's inside isn't science fiction, it's real, and it's worse than we thought. California's Area 51, the secret Skunk Works facility. Area 51 might be famous, but California is where the real secrets live. Hidden in plain sight, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, located in Palmdale, is the home of America's most classified aerospace projects. Unlike Area 51, which is military-run, Skunk Works operates under a tight blend of corporate and government secrecy. This means fewer leaks, tighter control, and even less accountability. Founded during World War II, Skunk Works is officially called the Advanced Development Programs Division of Lockheed Martin. It was built for one thing, to push aerospace tech beyond what's imaginable. With non-disclosure agreements, internal clearances, and compartmentalized projects, employees here are locked in a system that's designed to hide breakthroughs for decades. Today, while tourists look toward Nevada, California's high desert holds the real future of aviation. These facilities are so secure that even most Lockheed employees don't know what's being tested behind the walls. Advanced radar-absorbing materials, unknown aircraft, and prototype drones, all likely developed here and flown in complete secrecy. If you're looking for what comes after the stealth bomber, you're not going to find it in Area 51 anymore, said a former defense analyst familiar with aerospace black programs. What this means is chilling. The real cutting edge of military aviation is happening out of public view, in facilities not even officially acknowledged. If there are technologies decades ahead of what we know, they're being tested here. And the story only gets deeper when we look at how Skunk Works became the home of the stealth revolution, and how that legacy of secrecy still shapes what happens today. Skunk Works, America's stealth black ops lab. It started with the Cold War, but it never ended. Skunk Works, founded by Clarence Kelly Johnson during World War II, was built to innovate without red tape. The team operated in secret, away from bureaucracy, and that independence paid off. They built the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, and later the F-117 Nighthawk, all aircraft that remained secret for years. This lab didn't just make planes, it made legends. But what most people don't realize is that the same philosophy of deep secrecy continues today, possibly hiding platforms that are decades ahead of anything public. Projects here are compartmentalized. That means even people working on them often don't know the full picture. According to a former Skunk Works engineer, you could be building something and never know what it's for or if it's ever going to fly. Many of these aircraft are kept classified for 20 to 30 years, if ever revealed at all. So while the public sees fighter jets and drones, the next-gen prototypes, unmanned, hypersonic, AI-controlled, might already be in service, unknown to almost everyone. The lab itself sits within Plant 42, a U.S. Air Force industrial facility. But while it has military roots, the corporate structure means even tighter secrecy, backed by defense contractors rather than public oversight. This kind of setup makes California's Skunk Works more hidden than Area 51 ever was, and far more dangerous in terms of what it could be hiding. One of the most mysterious facilities located in Hellendale, where strange sightings and silent testing point to something far more advanced. Hellendale, the hidden radar testing site. Drive near Victorville, California, and you might not notice anything strange until you pass the Hellendale RCS range. It looks like nothing, but it's one of the most secure radar testing sites in the U.S., run by Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works. Originally built as an auxiliary World War II airfield, Hellendale was transformed into a test bed for radar cross-section experiments. Here, engineers test how invisible a shape is to radar, the foundation of stealth tech. The site has massive radar arrays, hydraulic lift platforms, and remote control towers to suspend aircraft models in the air. They don't test planes in flight here. They test how they reflect radar in perfect stillness to reduce signature to near zero. And here's where it gets weird. Locals and online footage have captured images of oddly shaped crafts, often black, sometimes angular, mounted on pylons. These don't match any known military aircraft, and they appear, then vanish, without a trace. "It hovered, but it didn't move like anything I've seen," said one local who filmed a silent object mounted at Hellendale in 2023. If advanced drones or hypersonic prototypes exist, Hellendale is likely where their radar profiles were perfected, long before anyone knew they were real. But it wasn't just blurry sightings. Recently, the footage leaked from this exact site changed the game, showing something we weren't supposed to see. The bombshell footage. Mysterious craft in California. In 2023, a YouTuber named Anders Ottesen leaked footage from Hellendale. It showed a strange, dark object on a test pylon, hovering, rotating, and completely silent. The aircraft didn't match any current U.S. inventory. It looked like something from science fiction. The video spread fast. Some dismissed it. Others said it looked like the rumored TR-3B, a triangular craft tied to conspiracy theories. What made this different was its location and context. This wasn't a random sighting. It was on the grounds of Lockheed's test site. Analysts said the object's behavior suggested active control, but not from visible propulsion. It wasn't just spinning, it was adjusting mid-air, a trait seen in experimental systems with electromagnetic stabilization or internal thrust control. "That's not a drone, that's not a weather balloon, that's something else," one defense analyst commented anonymously. The speculation exploded. Was it a prototype stealth drone, a next-gen reconnaissance platform, or something reverse-engineered? Some even claim underground vaults at Hellendale House Exotic Tech. While official sources stayed silent, the footage forced new attention on California's role in black aerospace projects, not just theory, but visual evidence. And that brings us to the future. A rumored aircraft that's faster than anything ever built and might already exist. Next-gen aviation, SR-72 and beyond. Talk of the SR-72. Dark Star has swirled for years, a hypersonic spy plane said to be the successor to the SR-71 Blackbird. Capable of Mach 6, it would redefine military speed and intelligence gathering. Lockheed Martin has never confirmed the SR-72 exists, but in 2018, they announced they were on track to fly a demonstrator. Since then, nothing has been shown publicly. But insiders believe test models may have already flown, likely from Edwards Air Force Base or the Hellendale facility. What makes the SR-72 special isn't just its speed, it's the ability to strike or surveil anywhere on Earth within an hour and vanish before detection. If that aircraft is real and it's being tested in California, then we're already in the next era of warfare. Dark Star isn't fiction anymore. It's just waiting for the right moment to appear, said aviation journalist Tyler Rogaway. And if California's aerospace labs are building this now, then Area 51 may already be obsolete. And yet, this is just what we know about. The rest, the truly hidden projects, remain sealed under what's called the Black World. That's where we're headed next. Untold projects. The Black World Advantage. Only a sliver of what Skunk Works creates ever sees daylight. According to defense insiders, less than 15% of its projects are publicly acknowledged. The rest belong to what the military calls the Black World, highly classified operations shielded by top-tier secrecy and defense contract protections. These projects don't need public funding or congressional hearings. They operate on need-to-know clearances and run through special access programs, meaning even government officials often aren't aware of what's happening inside. We're not just talking about experimental planes. The Black World may include non-aerospace tech, like directed energy weapons, autonomous AI systems, and even quantum navigation tools. These are developed behind closed doors, often by private contractors like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Boeing. If you think what you see is impressive, remember the best stuff stays hidden, said former Pentagon consultant Bill Sweetman. The real issue is that this secrecy shields innovation, but also creates a gap in oversight. We don't know how advanced these systems are. We don't know how they're being tested, And we don't know the full consequences. But why is this happening specifically in California? The answer lies in geography, infrastructure, and decades of strategic planning. Why California became America's hidden war lab? California wasn't just lucky, it was built to become America's secret weapons playground. With close access to defense contractors, military airspace, and the Pacific test ranges, it became the epicenter of classified R&D long before Area 51. Facilities like Plant 42 in Palmdale, Edwards Air Force Base, and China Lake Naval Weapons Center form a vast web of test runways, underground labs, and aerospace engineering hubs. Skunk Works lives right in the middle of it all. Then there's NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center, also in the region, which quietly collaborates with defense tech, often testing high-altitude and hypersonic systems without public disclosure. It's the densest concentration of aerospace secrets on Earth, said aviation historian Peter Merlin. Unlike Area 51, which is isolated, California's advantage is its integration. Industry, test grounds, and talent all co-located. That's what makes it dangerous. Here, secrecy is routine, not exception. But this raises a deeper question. When the secrecy is corporate and government-linked, who's watching? The answer is almost no one. Public versus private secrecy, the biggest cover-up. The government eventually admitted Area 51 existed, but Skunk Works, it remains hidden, not just behind barbed wire, but behind corporate walls. And that changes everything. Area 51 is a military installation. That means it operates under federal oversight, subject to public funding, congressional review, and freedom of information requests. As secretive as it was, the system eventually required some level of public accountability. Skunk Works, on the other hand, is owned by Lockheed Martin, a private defense contractor. It develops its most advanced projects under classified military contracts, which are shielded not just by national security laws, but by corporate confidentiality. This creates a dual-layer secrecy, one where even the names of the programs, the budgets, and the objectives can be permanently sealed. It's not just what we can't see, it's what we're not allowed to ask about, said national security reporter Annie Jacobson. The result? Whistleblowers are rare. At Area 51, a few former insiders eventually spoke out. But at Skunk Works, the legal consequences are harsher, the culture tighter, and the compartmentalization deeper. Workers only know fragments. Entire teams can work for years on a component without ever knowing what it's for. Even journalists run into walls. Federal FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, requests apply to government entities, not private corporations. That means investigations into Skunk Works projects hit a dead end. No access to files, no chain of command to appeal to, just silence. And this silence isn't accidental. It's systemic. It allows experimental weapons, surveillance platforms, and autonomous systems to be designed, built, and tested without ever entering the public conversation. This is the real cover-up. Not little green men or secret alien vaults, but the fact that the future of warfare is being engineered in facilities that answer to investors, not citizens. Facilities that operate beyond transparency, even as they shape global defense policy and military capability. We don't just have a secrecy problem. We have a responsibility gap, said policy analyst Dr. Laura Emmett. And it's that widening gap between what's built and what's known that creates the perfect storm for speculation, suspicion, and some of the wildest theories ever told. Let's go there next. Conspiracy theories versus reality. Where there's secrecy and speculation takes root, and in California's aerospace corridors, from Palmdale to Helendale, the rumors haven't just grown, they've exploded. For decades, this region has been tied to some of the most enduring theories in modern mythology. Reverse-engineered alien craft, anti-gravity propulsion, and the infamous TR-3B, a triangular silent aircraft believed by some to be the product of recovered extraterrestrial technology. The Antelope Valley, known as Aerospace Alley, has become the modern hotspot for what many call black triangle UFOs. But these sightings don't come from nowhere. In 2020, images surfaced showing a mystery drone flying over Palmdale. Sleek, angular, and unlike anything officially known, it quickly ignited debate online. Defense analysts suggested it could be part of a loyal wingman drone program, autonomous craft designed to fly alongside manned fighters. But with no official confirmation, it slipped into the growing category of unknowns that blur the line between fact and fantasy. You can't tell the difference between breakthrough and myth anymore, said Steve Trimble, defense editor at Aviation Week, and that's by design. The deeper problem is that in this kind of secrecy, even the truth looks like a conspiracy. The public knows some of the most advanced tech, like stealth bombers or drone swarms, were once secret too. So when they see silent, fast-moving lights in the sky, the assumption isn't crazy. It's informed by history. Most experts agree that what many call UFOs in California are in fact classified aircraft, often 10 to 20 years ahead of what the Pentagon officially discloses. These craft may use exotic materials, radar-absorbent skin, or flight profiles that mimic science fiction, but they're built here on Earth by people. This doesn't mean aliens are involved, but it does mean the public is watching technology it will never fully understand. Not because it's extraterrestrial, but because it's too advanced to be admitted. Reality and secrecy have become indistinguishable, Trimble noted. And that's the real story. When a nation builds its future in shadows, speculation becomes the only lens the public has left. And that brings us to the final, unavoidable conclusion. California's hidden aerospace world isn't just building machines. It may already be reshaping the entire future, completely out of sight. The implications. Why this changes everything. If California's Skunk Works and its surrounding test sites truly represent the new Area 51, then what we're seeing is likely only the surface of a deep, layered ecosystem of classified innovation. This isn't just about a few secret planes. It's about the entire infrastructure of future warfare being built away from public eyes. Inside these corporate-run black programs, it's highly possible that the U.S. is already testing or deploying autonomous combat drones, hypersonic strike vehicles, and AI-directed surveillance platforms. If this is the case, America could be decades ahead of its closest rivals in air dominance and next-generation defense systems. But that lead comes at a cost, and not just in money, because this level of secrecy means no public debate, no legislative oversight, and no democratic transparency. These technologies could change global power dynamics, reshape conflicts, or even trigger new arms races, all without public awareness or approval. This isn't just about planes, it's about power, said retired Colonel Mike Pietruccia. And right now, most of it is invisible. The true danger isn't just what's being built, it's what's being decided without us. AI-based weapons, undetectable strike platforms, real-time global targeting. If these systems are developed in secret, who decides when and how they're used? Who sets the ethical limits? These questions aren't hypothetical anymore. They're urgent. If California's desert labs are home to the real future of defense, then we need to ask, what kind of world is being engineered behind those blast doors? A world where humans remain in control, or one where algorithms and automation rule the battlefield? The line between science fiction and military reality is thinner than ever. And what's being built today, hidden in hangars from Palmdale to Helendale, could determine what war, peace, and power look like for the next 100 years. Because whatever's happening out there, it's not science fiction anymore. It's here, it's real, and it's already in motion. If California's black sites hold the future of warfare, we're watching history being made without even knowing it. From hypersonic drones to invisible aircraft, the next battlefield is already built. But with no oversight, no access, and no answers, the real threat might be how little we're allowed to know.